Hi, I have a quick tip for you about how to get the club in the right position at the top of the backswing. When we say right position, there's definitely some wiggle room. If you want tour players, there's a lot of different positions at the top, but here's some basic guidelines for you. What we see so much of, people snatch the club back to the inside or way behind them, and I just think they've had the word inside pounded into their brains, so their thought is, okay, I've got to get the club back in here behind me and inside. Well, guess what that usually leads to? A lifting action where the club is now pointed way off to the right. Then they've got to do some rearranging to get the club back on plane on the downswing. And then if they do the opposite, if they tend to push the club to the outside, it often ends up in more of what we call a laid off position back in here. And a lot of, especially weekend recreational players, have a hard time squaring the face from that position. It'll tend to come through open and they'll hit weak shots to the right. So I've got this PVC on the ground here, and as I take the club back, the shaft stays a little more out in front of my body. It gets about halfway back to where it's nearly parallel to the blue line, and then my job is to try to get the grip end of the club, the butt end of the club, pointed at that line. Think of that as the target line, so the ball would actually be on that line. And if I can take the club back so that the butt end of the club is pointed at that line, that's a pretty darn good position up there. Notice this elbow's down too. We see a lot of this. Sure, there's exceptions to the rule, players who've played pretty well from there, but these are generalizations, and typically if this elbow can stay down and you can get this part of the club pointed at an extension of the ball line or the target line, you're going to be in a pretty good position.